Welcome to Sound and Fury. I'm Eric Wilfred Watson, and I exclusively wear Fruit of the Loom underwear, because nothing holds my berries as comfortably as Fruit of the Loom.
And I'm Hugh Frank.
Today we're going to talk about product placements. Before we do that, let's have a word from our sponsor.
Do you have an ant problem? If the answer is yes, then Ant Solution Services could be the answer to your prayers. Ant Solution Services specializes in only the most highly trained aardvarks in the industry. Let Ant Solution Services match you with the right aardvark for your needs. They have many varieties of aardvarks to choose from. Go to www.ass.com for a free estimate. Ant Solutions Systems has the right aardvark for you.
Well, that's very helpful. Now, let's talk about product placements in movies. Now, we would never stoop so low as to sell out ourselves to product placement.
No, certainly not.
By the way, did you know that Diet Rite Cola tastes better than the leading brands and costs less money?
I did not know that.
I mean, only an asshole would drink Diet Coke.
Only a Sith deals in absolutes.
Do we have to keep drinking this now?
No. So one of the biggest examples of product placement that didn't work, and of course, you know me, I'm going to mention Star Trek. The 2009 movie where they have the Nokia tone, just jarring and doesn't work in a movie. Little kid Captain Kirk steals the car, pushes the smart system of the car, and the Nokia phone system comes up. When is the last time you heard that tone? That's like pretty much the last time that anybody's had a Nokia tone.
Yeah, that was back when different phones had. I think that was kind of that Nokia tone was back before people used. There was like the MP3 thing for a while. People would use those.
It was 2009. I was like right at the cusp of the smartphone revolution.
Yeah.
Star Trek's usually very good at predicting the future. I mean, they came up with the communicator. Data recalled music by just saying, play this song.
Yeah.
Captain Picard had his iPad before, Apple invented it.
Yeah, Worf named his son Alexa. No, wasn't it? Something
Alexander Rishenko.
Oh,
close enough.
Yeah, whatever it takes. But no, you're absolutely right. They had a lot of, but yeah, the whole we're gonna have a cell phone with a 20th century ringtone. It just doesn't really.
I guess it's supposed to be a classic car, and maybe I guess it still has the old technology on it. But how would they have?
Yeah, actually, I guess 20th century car, 20th century phone, maybe.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, so a true car connoisseur, if you had a 1959 radio and a 1955 car, would be a sin, right? But somebody that maybe just close enough, they weren't a true connoisseur, might put a radio.
This looks antique-y.
This is antique enough, right? Yeah. So, okay, well, 20th century car, 20th century cell phone, it's the same century at least, So maybe, but still, yeah, that was a stretch just to have.
Worked a little bit better when Uhura's in the bar and orders a Budweiser.
3 Budweiser Classics, 2 Cardassian Sunrises, and
try the Slusho, it's good.
The Slusho mix, thank you.
She uses an actual brand name.
Yeah, which it's nice to know Budweiser's still going to be around in the 24th and a half century.
Yes.
So, that's cool.
That sort of harkens back to a lot of other product placement things where they intentionally don't mention brands. Like you see in how many movies or TV shows have you seen where the guy orders a beer?
Right.
When was the last time you walked up into a bar and says, I'll have a beer? You know what the bartender would say? What do you want? Budweiser, Miller,
Right.
any beer? You know,
Right.
We have one kind of beer at this bar, and I'll get it for you now.
Right. Right. You forgot Spotted Cow.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Hacker Weiss.
Ja. So. Oh yeah, and I think going back to the Nokia thing, the more subtle and I think more effective Nokia phone product placement was in the Matrix when he snaps out the phone there or whatever, and that was a Nokia like 7140 or something like that they had added a little spring loading thing to. And I wanted that phone. And of course, that was also previous to the smartphone revolution. But everybody wanted that freaking thing. And then they even made a Matrix phone for the later movies and stuff. But it fit. It was more organic. And I think that's really what separates good product placement from bad product placement.
Unit 47, we're on the way. As soon as we finish lunch.
2 golden menus.
Thank you.
I'm too old, too tired, and too hungry to go chasing some hot rod.
You don't, if it just fits in. Like the Coca-Cola billboards, the big moving billboards in Blade Runner.
Pan Am.
What's that?
Pan Am.
Pan Am. Oh yeah, whoops. Whoopsie. Yeah, didn't quite have Pan Am anymore. But if you're, anytime you're going to show Central Park, for example, I'm sorry, not Central Park. What's the place with the New Year's?
Times Square.
That's the place in New York. You're going to have product placement there. You're going to have billboards. You're going to have stuff like that. You couldn't have, unless it's like I Am Legend, where they show Times Square and there's no electricity and therefore no moving billboards, unless it's specifically some other circumstance. That's a good place to stick in product placement, right? Because it's organic. You can have literally anything on the billboard you want to have there. But
you could also insert a fictional product in there, too. They have the movie show a Batman versus Superman movie that didn't exist, and the setting of that movie was when an actual Batman versus Superman movie came out. So they sort of predicted the future there.
Interesting. Huh. So it was kind of a Bat to the Future.
Yes. Back to the Future has an excellent product placement with the Pizza Hut. That's probably one of the best examples of successful...
the best pizza.
That's probably one of the best examples of product placement. It makes sense in the story. It's part of the story.
No.
How many people ordered a pizza after watching that movie?
Right.
And it doesn't take you out of it because it makes total sense that they'd have that brand name there.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I think I mentioned probably in one of our first videos, I am a sucker for product placement. I've been shaving with Barbasol since I first started shaving because that's what Dennis Nedry used to smuggle dinosaur embryos off of Isla Sorna, or at least attempted to. And so I've been using it ever since. So, yeah, it works, I mean, not only the Barbasol, but the product placement.
In a moment, we're going to talk about some other product placement things, but right now, we're going to take a moment to thank one of our sponsors.
Oh, yes. Are you having trouble keeping your aardvark fresh and clean? The folks at Aardvark Support Services can help. We don't just fix part of the problem, we'll show you our ASS whole solution guarantee. There's no such thing as a half ASS job. Your aardvark will be as shiny and fresh as the day you brought it home. Don't settle for second-rate aardvark care. Go to www.ass.com and see the difference. So what were we about to talk about?
My irritation in movies is when they refuse to show the logo for a car. That takes me right out of there. It's like, oh, they don't have an advertisement deal with Ford.
Yeah.
So I'll just look at a big blank oval on the front of the car and
wonder what that is. No.
In Star Trek, they have an episode where they travel back in time and they show a Volkswagen van. Doesn't have the Volkswagen logo on it, but I still know it's a Volkswagen van.
Yeah.
It's just stupid not to leave the damn logo on there.
It is.
It makes it more noticeable that it's a Volkswagen or Ford or whatever.
And then it's just like, well, they didn't pay us for this advertisement, so we're not going to do it. Yeah, that's
just stupid.
It is kind of stupid, yeah. Obviously, we're doing ours for free.
Yeah, we would never stoop so low. We'd never do shameless self-promotion.
Never.
We would never, it's unethical.
It is.
To try to force your...
But everybody's got a Diet Rite.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that sold many sodas.
Diet Rite stock, if there's such a thing as crashing.
So what are some other examples of... Oh, here's a good one. So you have the opposite of product placement is, if you get your Quentin Tarantino movies, he deliberately went out instead of, F you people, I'm not going to, show your products. He just made up his own stuff. So he's got Red Apple cigarettes. Mm-hmm. He's got other things that I can't think of right now. But he goes out of his way to make his own kind of stuff, so he doesn't have to worry about, whether or not he can, use it in his show.
In the X-Files, the guy smoked Marley cigarettes, which happened to be in the exact same shape of a Marlboro cigarette.
Yes. That would make sense.
Yes. Oh, people got annoyed with the big Marlboro truck in a Superman movie. So that kind of, a tobacco advertisement for is sort of a kids movie. So they got wise to that. You're not going to see Superman, the big Marlboro advertisement behind him anytime soon.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
You really shouldn't smoke, Miss Lane.
The Flintstones had a cigarette commercial, which is very jarring.
I know.
That's one, times have changed isn't always a good thing, but in that case, I think it is.
A little bit. Yeah.
I'm not against product placement if it's done tastefully.
Tastefully is Diet Rite.
Has anybody ever been sponsored by Diet Rite? Ever?
Until now?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're the first.
What do you mean? They're not our sponsor. I just say that I like their beverage because it's genuinely good. With 0 calories, 0 caffeine, 0 sodium, and only a pure zero would drink it.
Hey.
That's what it says on the can, pure zero.
So that reminds me, I think probably the best product placement movie ever has got to be Idiocracy by Mountain Dew.
Mountain Dew, now that he's the name of the president. I wonder if Fuddruckers got paid to be in their movie.
You mean butt but the fact that they actually have in Congress, they have all the signs up there, and then he gets actually paid to say, every time he mentions, I don't know, it was just Mountain Dew or whatever it was, but every time he mentions different products and stuff, and they're just so, I guess there's a few movies like that. Wayne's World's like that too. It's like they talk about, they have all the product placement in there and talk about how they would never stoop so low as to...
It's like people only do things because they get paid. And that's just really sad.
One final word from our sponsor.
All right. Is your aardvark wearing out its welcome? Does your aardvark have trouble finding motivation to eat ants around your house the way it used to? It may be time for a dose of Aardvark Security Services brand Aardvark Repellent, guaranteed to repel even the most stubborn aardvarks or your money back. Visit www.ass.com today.
Please don't actually go to that website.
No, do a Google search.
No.
I dare you. Just don't do it on your mom's computer, kids.
I like their specialists so much, I bought the company.
Spatula City.